going from Harlem to Hollywood.
Kanye was
You a genius, Kanye.
a
I just
genius.
told you.
I thought I was a god.
We're drowning in success advice. To hustle, to grind, to manifest our dreams with every fiber of our being. The core message is simple. You have to want it badly. And when I say badly, I mean badly. But let's be real here. Look at the people at the absolute peak. And I'm speaking about the untouchable peak. The cultural disruptors, the billionaires. The ones who seem to possess supernatural powers to control over reality. And we have to ask ourselves, is the advice missing a step? What if to reach that peak, to become a Diddy or a Kanye West, you have to want it so badly that you might even start becoming crazy? The problem is once you internalize the command to do anything for it, you have successfully blurred the line between healthy aspiration and what psychologists call toxic ambition. Healthy ambition is more about growth, being better today than you were yesterday. The goal of healthy ambition is to ultimately find happiness and fulfillment. While with the toxic ambition, that's about control, domination, and incessant, I guess you could say. I don't know if that's a word, but incessant. You know, the neurotic need to prove you are worthy. And the goal of toxic ambition is quite simple. It is to win at all cost. And for the people at the top, the victory often comes with an enormous price tag. You know, I was watching this documentary series about Diddy. And Diddy wasn't interested in being a rapper. He wanted to be an ecosystem, a machine, his own law of success. And he wanted to show how his empire is supposed to operate. And what I saw is that if you want it bad enough, you'll do whatever it takes. This is the conqueror's philosophy. It's the drive that allowed him to build a multi-faced world, from Bad Boy to Shah and John, and also to Ciroc. He didn't want a piece of the pie. He wanted to own the bakery. He was relentless, often pushing people to their breaking points because to him, their comfort was secondary to his vision. And the belief of his own destiny, this self-proclaimed incredible self-belief is what gave him the audacity to even try it. And unfortunately, it's the engine for his success. And this is what I saw later on the show. It was that when your entire foundation is built upon the belief of the ultimate goal justifies the mean, the collateral damage is then inevitable. I mean, in this documentary, the amount of allegations and lawsuits he's on right now aren't just a few mistakes. They are arguably the logical, toxic conclusion of a philosophy that placed ultimate winning above ethics, empathy, and humanity. The do anything for it drive became do anything to anyone for it. This is the cold, destructive nature of toxic ambition laid bare. Now let's turn to the deity, also less controversial one, Kanye West. And the thing is, his ambition isn't to, you know, own a market, it's more so owning the culture. If I remember correctly, he once said that my goal would have been to become Picasso or greater. And something else we always used to say is excellent is the bare minimum. His ambitions are not driven by money. His ambitions are more so driven by being etched into history, being a historical transformative figure, a genius, a god in the flesh. And this is the crazy element we're speaking about. It's the unwavering, almost manic self-belief that his vision is so essential that their normal rules of society and reality simply don't apply to him. This is also what makes him constantly reinvent himself and to push creative boundaries and to also operate without fear of failure that normally paralyzes the rest of us. I mean, including myself, really. And what I've realized is that he's sometimes too busy trying to create history and don't care what the critics have to say about him. But that God-level ambition is normally a lonely place. The public meltdowns, the controversial statements, and the alienation. These are often the painful symptoms of that massive self-belief colliding with an imperfect, critical, real world. When your ambitions needs a world that can acknowledge your deity status, and the world normally gives you a fraction of that, the resulting friction creates the chaos that we all see. The crazy part isn't the genius part. The crazy is the pathological inability to reconcile his self-perception with reality. He's a man who is ambitions are so enormous that it is actively destroying his own peace of mind. The point here is not to pass judgment, but to rather dissect the psychological of absolute greatness. Diddy and Kanye proved that the world to absolute peak requires an unreasonable, all-consuming drive. Most of us stop at a healthy ambition because we value our relationships, our peace, and our ethical boundaries. We stop because we know the damage that kind of obsession can create. Toxic ambition is a thief. It steals your bro, you get the point, okay? It steals your fulfillment. It isolates you, and eventually it makes you also hurt others. And the worst part of it all is that it forces you to also hurt yourself. We are all inspired by the hustle, but it's important that we must acknowledge the price tag that comes with it. Is that level of success worth the personal and the external wreckage for them? The answer was always going to be yes to, but for us it doesn't have to. So I leave you with this one question for your own journey. If we want a fraction of their success, do we need to tap into a fraction of their madness as well? Or is there a way to harness that essential fire without letting it burn down everything and everyone you care about? So yeah, let me know in the comments down below, where do we draw this healthy ambition and the do anything for it desire? I don't know. I made this video, and I was just thinking about this when I was watching the Diddy documentary, because of all the things that he was doing. I was a little bit surprised by how much he was willing to sacrifice others in order for him to gain something, and how control freak he was. And I also kind of saw the parallels of Kanye West, not in the way of like controlling people, but in the way of how his madness is also another way to actually get to the top. And in order to get to the top, you have to be some sort of not mentally stable. And I don't know, it's just something that I feel like sometimes I relate to, you know, this toxic ambition. Sometimes I do tap into it to some extent, and you know, it's a little bit scary. So I don't know, I was just thinking about making a video about it because I sometimes do relate to it. Not the Diddy stuff, not the freak offs, and not, hey, don't take it too far and say I am into what Diddy's into. I'm just saying the drive to, you know, he was an A&R, and somehow in the span of a couple of months came at the top. He also made his label like a couple of years right after, like 2 years after he made Bad Boy Records, and became this one big mogul that everyone wanted to speak to. I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy to see all of that. 50 Cent is his toxic ambition forms in a way of being a huge hater. He wants to always be better than the person he hates, and he also wants to one-up them. And you can see in Ja Rule, and you can see in Diddy now making an entire documentary. I don't know, man. I just wanted to make a video about this because it was just something I was thinking about, so I started writing. And this video was not even supposed to come out. There was actually a video planned out for today. So yeah, I just kind of derailed that video and said I can put that on hold and maybe release it next week or in the middle of the week. So yeah, I don't know, man. I just started rambling now. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. And yeah, subscribe if you feel like subscribing, I guess. Peace.